I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe. And today's topic, liberals versus the left. And I'll just cut straight to the point on this. At this moment in time, right now, what this is really about is Biden versus Sanders. Now, I'm voting for Biden. Liberals, you just relax on that. I am telling my lefty friends that they should vote for Biden too. Take out Trump. Stop the fascists, no matter what. Now, I am not at all pleased, however, with the back and forth that I am hearing on this between liberals and the left. I'm hearing a lot of angry, patronizing bullying coming down from liberals and a lot of counter hostility coming down from the left. No bueno, no bueno. So I think it would be helpful to pull back a bit from the specifics of Biden versus Sanders and instead try to situate their rivalry in the context of recent history in order to get a much better informed big picture view of what's going down in the Democratic Party today. So, are you ready? Let's go. 1. Nader 2000. I voted for Ralph Nader in the 2000 election because I believed that the Democrats had completely given up on advancing any and all left-wing causes, thrown in the towel, running scared from the GOP juggernaut. Indeed, it appeared at that point in history that the Democrats had taken an if you can't beat them, join them sort of mentality and were offering watered-down conservatism, which everybody was calling inexplicably liberal. And now, by watered-down conservatism, I mean the Clinton faction's embrace of conservative assumptions about human nature, economics, power, oppression, war, and so on. And all these assumptions paired with democratic versions of Republican policies based on those assumptions. By the 2000 election, conservatives had successfully intimidated the Democratic Party into a rightward lurch in its politics, and no mainstream voices acknowledged this rather profound realignment of American politics. The Democrats were, and still are, considered to be the liberal party. Now, facing this reality, I voted the issues. I voted for Ralph Nader, and Bush won. Now, see, I think Bush won because Gore was a shitty Republican-light candidate paired with a shitty Republican-light running mate, the despicable Joseph Lieberman. Why drink fake Republican beer when you can have the real thing, something that actually tastes like beer instead of watered-down goat piss? But that's not what Democrats thought at the time about Gore's loss. No. There's no need for me to dwell too much on this, but fuck daily costs. Fuck all online Democrats from those days. Just fuck them, totally fuck them, and especially fuck daily costs. Naively, I attempted to discuss my views online about the election and the party, how Nader was pushing what they needed to push, but no, Bush was my fault. The end of Roe v. Wade, which didn't happen, but that was my fault too. Homophobia, 9/11, everything, just everything, all my fault. These online Democrats were pissed and they needed a scapegoat, and I was right there. It totally sucked. 2. Much more recently, that liberal hostility toward the left still exists to this very day, but it is easier, at least for me, to deal with it. The left is no longer in the wilderness. We got Occupy Wall Street, Bernie, Andrea Ocasio-Cortez. The left has gone mainstream, and we have strength in numbers, beating me down, talking over me, shutting me up with sheer volume of negativity is no longer quite so effective. The left can speak freely now. The Democrats, at long last, again have a legitimate left wing. Now, given the continual downward spiral of the Republicans into fascism, given the rise of the left has posed a real challenge to the right-wing, Republican-light, Democratic establishment liberals, something really weird has happened. All legitimate American politics now take place inside the Democratic Party. If you are a reasonable, loyal American, the Democrats are the only game in town. Now, doubling down, this means that the marketplace of ideas without which no democracy can survive is solely the responsibility of the Democrats. We should start acting like it. We have a grave patriotic obligation to keep the real discussion going. But given all the intra-party animosity, how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? 3, how to do it. I think that we, liberals in the left, have been arguing with Republicans and only Republicans for far too long. So long that we have forgotten how to argue with each other. And because Republicans no longer use facts, I think we've all gotten a bit lazy with our political reading and study. We are no longer concerning ourselves with nuance and sophistication in debate. I mean, okay, you don't really need nuance for arguments with Republicans. I mean, it's all a contest of wills with them. They are immune to facts and reason. Talking to conservatives it's a lot like calling them out, speaking truth to power, and when you get right down to it, nuance and sophistication kind of gets in the way of that. The bottom line is that with Republicans, there is no productive discussion to be had. And dealing with all that, all the Republican bullshit for decades, I think that, it's atrophied our rhetorical skills right when we need them the most. And it's pretty awful. Like, back in 2016, when establishment Democrats were trying to redefine the term neoliberal, when Hillary Clinton was being rightly criticized by the left for being a neoliberal. Now, we can and should have arguments about neoliberalism and the Democratic Party if you want to. But rendering the notion meaningless is a colossal conservative-style fuck-up. Or, more recently, the vague accusation of racism thrown at me for calling Biden, I shit you not, for calling Biden an establishment Democrat. The idea is something along the lines that black voters in the South put Biden over the top, and so black voters then became the establishment for supporting the establishment candidate, which makes establishment now a racist term and me a racist for using it. That's some real what the fuck right there. Again, we can talk about race in the Democratic establishment, but man, only a liberal with absolutely no knowledge of power or history would offer such an ad absurdism. We need to talk about all kinds of things, but not like that. That establishment is racism. That's just another conservative style ignorance attack. Now, look, liberals, I totally get that the left can be just as clumsy, awkward, and needlessly hostile as you establishment liberals can be. So we all have some responsibility on this. The point is that this kind of discussion serves nobody. We all must study up, read a lot more, continually remind ourselves that we are having a real discussion, not a fuck you fest with conservatives. We must continually remind ourselves that we are talking to reasonable people, for the most part. We must listen to each other, because in real discussion, both sides tend to make pretty good points. The Democratic Party has the nation's brain in its care. And we must not allow Republican insanity to addle that brain. The marketplace of ideas belongs to us, liberals and left alike, and we must honor that. We will be grown-up, responsible citizens, or the fascists will win. In conclusion means have another sip of coffee. In conclusion, it is back to old school persuasion for the lot of us, liberals and leftists alike, all of us who aren't fascists. No more patronizing, no more villainizing. If we are serious about our civic responsibility, we must have real, productive discussion. Voting is very personal and emotional for anyone who gets off of his ass and goes to the polls. We must treat an individual's vote with the sacredness it deserves. We must show respect for one another on this. Nobody owes anybody his vote. Votes must be won. And you win votes with persuasion. Besides, this all just got pretty darned easy. Sanders announced his support for Biden on Monday. So we got this. We're going to do it. It's cool. First, we'll join, the left, we'll join with the liberals and take down Trump and the fascists. And then the left takes over the Democratic Party using persuasion. All right, folks, we got some good reason to be optimistic moving forward for, lots of good reasons. So let's do it. Let's get out there. We're going to vote for Biden just like the communists and the capitalists joined together in World War II to fight the Nazis. We got it. I'm Ron Reeder, and this has been Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reeder, again next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Stop the fascists now.